Let me be clear about something before we start. Dave Ramsey has helped millions of Americans get out of debt. His message is disciplined, consistent, and for a lot of people, it works. This is not a takedown video. This is not financial drama. This is a math video. Because here is the thing about the debt snowball. The method Dave Ramsey has built an empire around. It is specifically designed to feel good. And feeling good and building maximum wealth are not always the same thing. In fact, when you run the actual numbers, the most popular debt payoff method in America can cost the average household anywhere between $2,000 and $10,000 in unnecessary interest payments, depending on the debt profile. And almost nobody is talking about what that money could have become if it went somewhere else instead. So today we are going to do something simple. We are going to look at 3 debt payoff methods side by side with real numbers. We are going to bring in the behavioral science that explains why people succeed or fail with each one. And we are going to build a framework that actually maximizes your net worth, not just your sense of progress. Stay with me because the third method is the one most finance channels never mention. And it is the one that changes the math most dramatically. First, what is the debt snowball and why is it so popular? The debt snowball is straightforward. You list all your debts from smallest balance to largest balance regardless of interest rate. You make minimum payments on everything. You throw every extra dollar at the smallest balance first. When that debt is gone, you roll that payment into the next smallest. And so on until everything is paid off. The logic is psychological, not mathematical. Dave Ramsey openly admits this. The small wins build momentum. Eliminating a debt entirely, even a small one, creates a dopamine response that keeps people motivated to continue. And the research backs up the psychology. A 2016 study published in the Journal of Marketing Research found that people who focused on eliminating individual debts completely rather than reducing overall balances were significantly more likely to stay committed to their payoff plan over time. So the snowball works. For a specific type of person in a specific type of situation, it genuinely works. The problem is not the psychology. The problem is the interest rate blindness. The cost of ignoring interest rates. Here is a real example with real numbers. Imagine you have 3 debts. Credit card A, $800 balance at 24% interest. Credit card B, $3,500 balance at 19% interest. Personal loan C, $6,000 balance at 11% interest. You have $400 per month to put toward debt payoff after minimums. The snowball method tells you to attack credit card first because it is the smallest balance. You pay it off in about 3 months. You feel great. You roll that payment into credit card B. You knock that out. Then you attack the personal loan. Total time to debt freedom, approximately 22 months. Total interest paid, approximately $2,100. Now run the same numbers with the debt avalanche. The avalanche method is the mathematical opposite of the snowball. You list debts from highest interest rate to lowest and attack the highest rate first regardless of balance size. So you attack credit card first anyway in this case. It happens to be both the smallest balance and the highest rate. But then you skip credit card B and go straight to credit card B still because it is higher rate than the loan. Same order here, but the methodology matters when the order differs. Let me give you a cleaner example where the methods actually diverge. Debt A, $500 balance at 12% interest. Debt B, $4,000 balance at 22% interest. Debt C, $7,000 balance at 9% interest. Snowball attacks debt A first. Avalanche attacks debt B first. With $400 per month available, same scenario. Snowball total interest paid, approximately $2,890. Time to pay off, 28 months. Avalanche total interest paid, approximately $2,200. Time to pay off, 27 months. Difference, approximately $690 in 1 month. That $690 is real money. But honestly, on its own, it is not a life-changing number, which is why this debate often feels academic. Here is where it gets genuinely important. The variable nobody includes in the calculation. Every snowball versus avalanche comparison you have ever seen makes the same assumption, that your only 2 options are paying minimum payments or throwing extra money at debt. But that is not your only option. Your third option, the one almost nobody discusses, is simultaneous investing while paying down debt strategically. And this is where the math changes dramatically. Here is the question the debt payoff debate never asks. What is the interest rate on your debt compared to the historical return of the market? The S&P 500 has returned an average of approximately 10% annually over the last 50 years. That is the historical benchmark most long-term investors use. If your debt carries an interest rate above 10%, which credit card debt almost always does at today's average of 21.5%, paying that debt down aggressively is mathematically equivalent to earning a guaranteed 21.5% return on your money. No investment available to ordinary retail investors can reliably match that. Pay off high-interest debt first. Aggressively. This part Dave Ramsey gets right even if his ordering system is imperfect. But here is the critical nuance. If your debt carries an interest rate below 7 or 8%, a federal student loan, a low-rate car loan, an older mortgage at 3 or 4%, the math changes completely. Paying extra toward a 4% debt is mathematically equivalent to earning a guaranteed 4% return. The market historically returns 10%. Every extra dollar you put toward that low-rate debt, instead of investing, is costing you the difference. Roughly 6% per year. Compounding. For decades. A 2019 analysis by NerdWallet found that for borrowers with low-interest debt below 6%, investing the difference rather than accelerating payoff produced an average of $23,000 more in net worth over a 10-year period. $23,000. From the same cash flow, just directed differently. The framework that actually maximizes net worth. So here is the order that the math actually supports. Not Dave Ramsey's order. Not the pure avalanche order. The order that accounts for interest rates, opportunity cost, and the behavioral reality that humans are not robots. Step 1. Build a small emergency fund first. $1,000 minimum before anything else. This is the one thing Dave Ramsey gets completely right, and the research backs him up. Without a cash buffer, every unexpected expense goes back on the credit card and undoes your progress. $1,000 stops the bleeding. Step 2. Capture any employer 401k match immediately. If your employer matches your retirement contributions up to 3% of your salary, and you are not contributing at least 3%, you are leaving free money on the table. A 100% instant return beats paying off any debt at any interest rate. There is no mathematical argument against capturing a full employer match first. Step 3. Attack all debt above 8% interest aggressively using the avalanche method. Highest rate first. At 21.5% average credit card rates, this is your highest priority after step 1 and 2 are covered. Every dollar here earns you a guaranteed return higher than the market can reliably provide. Use the avalanche, not the snowball, because the interest rate is the variable that actually costs you money. Step 4. Once high-interest debt is eliminated, redirect that cash flow into a low-cost index fund. S&P 500 Index Fund. Total Market Fund. Simple, diversified, low fee. Let compounding do the work that your debt payments were blocking. Step 5. For any remaining low-interest debt below 6%, make your normal payments and invest the rest. Do not accelerate payoff on a 3.5% mortgage when the market has historically returned 10% annually. The math does not support it. Why Dave Ramsey does not teach this? This is the part of the conversation that requires some honesty. Dave Ramsey's audience is primarily people in serious financial crisis. People who have destroyed their finances through emotional spending, divorce, medical debt, job loss. People who need a simple, clear, motivational system more than they need a mathematically optimized one. For that audience, the snowball is genuinely the right tool. A slightly suboptimal method you actually follow is infinitely better than an optimal method you abandon in month 2 because it does not feel like progress. But if you are financially stable, earning a consistent income, and making intentional decisions about your money, you are not Dave Ramsey's core audience. You are capable of handling the nuance. And the nuance is worth between thousands and tens of thousands of dollars over your financial lifetime. The behavioral science that supports the snowball is real. The mathematical cost of ignoring interest rates is also real. The answer is not choosing one or the other. It is understanding which tool applies to your specific situation. The number that matters most. Here is how to know which method is right for you right now. Look at your highest interest rate debt. If it is above 8%, avalanche first, invest after. If your highest rate debt is below 6%, minimum payments on everything, Invest the rest aggressively. Let the math work in your favor. If you are carrying both high-rate and low-rate debt simultaneously, which most Americans are, split the approach. Attack the high-rate debt with the avalanche while making minimum payments on low-rate debt and investing simultaneously. It is not as emotionally satisfying as the snowball. There are no quick wins in the first few months. But your net worth statement 10 years from now will not care about how motivated you felt. It will only reflect the decisions you actually made. And the decision that builds the most wealth is not the one that feels the best. It is the one backed by math.